Vigilante is very sexy right now. From Daredevil to Batman to Liam Neeson, the hero we want these days marches to the beat of their own erratic, borderline psychotic drum on street level, not the one who plays nice with the law while soaring through the sky in spandex. I'm sorry, underpants. So, in celebration of vengeance, violence, and crippling vulnerability, here are our 15 favourite moments of kick-ass vigilante justice in cinema. Be warned, heavy spoilers from all these movies ahead. Peter Parker's first foray into crime fighting in The Amazing Spider-Man is as frantic and uncoordinated as you would expect from a kid who's just figured out he can shoot white stuff from... Anyway, we love pre-action figure Spider-Man. When he was just a kid wearing a stocking fighting crime after his algebra homework.
They're calling him a vigilante.
Okay, he's not a vigilante, he's an anarchist.
Help me, somebody! Arrest me!
The Brave One's most spectacular moment comes when Erica Bane manages to hunt down her attackers, and despite the interruption of Terrence Howard's detective at the last minute, brings it all the way home. Denzel Washington's particular brand of biblical justice laid upon the kidnappers of a little girl reaches its peak when he fires upon his target with a missile launcher, obliterating one car and stalling another just enough to capture the bad guy and torture him further. And look, we get it. Dakota Fanning was totally adorable in that movie.
Buenas tardes, señor Crisi. Mucho gusto en conocerlo.
Charles Bronson sticking a couple of rolls of coins into a sock and flailing it around may not be the most badass thing he does in Death Wish. But it marks the moment where Bronson's architect everyman decides to take the law into his own hands, a decision which popularized the vigilante genre in the 70s and spawned a number of terrible sequels.
When murder and rape are the crimes, Bronson is the only punishment.
Just awful. Harry Brown's just a regular old guy who's sick of being trodden on by the violent gangs that terrorize his housing estate, so he decides to take the law into his own hands, blah-de-blah-de-blah. This particular moment marks Harry's transformation from meek OAP into a vigilante who's never forgotten a second of his Royal Marines training.
You failed to maintain your weapon, son.
I told you I would find you.
While this isn't Brian Mills' final act of violent, yet fatherly justice, it brings his famous special set of skills speech so perfectly full circle, it might as well be. The Boondock Saints is essentially a series of kick-ass vigilante scenes loosely strung together to form a movie, so it was hard to pick a favourite. Yet there's something particularly special about the McManus brothers fighting over a rope in the air vent before the roof falls in on them and they straight up murder a group of Russian mobsters while dangling from the ceiling. Subtlety, maybe.
Power hath descended forth from thy hand. Spiritus Sancti.
Calling anything that occurs during Scorsese's grim and grimy vigilante masterpiece Taxi Driver Kickass is a bit of a stretch, but there are so many iconic moments in the film we'd be remiss not to include one. And what else but Travis Bickle's angry soliloquy, a terrifying precursor of the violence to come.
You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking to? Talking to me?
Hi, I'd like some breakfast.
We stopped serving breakfast.
Now, we've all experienced this plight at one point in our lives. In fact, the whole thing feels like the beginning of a stand-up routine. But things go dark fast when Falling Down's William Foster really hammers home just how much he wants his ham and cheese womlet with an Uzi.
I think we have a critic.
What better way to get revenge on the motorcycle gang that killed your partner, wife and child than handcuffing the guy responsible to a wrecked car leaking fuel before throwing him a hacksaw? With this immortal line,
"If you're lucky, you can hack through your ankle in 5 minutes."
Max completes his journey from good guy to the vigilante who would launch 1,000 knockoffs. If there's one unforgivable crime in cinema, it's killing a dog, especially one as cute as the puppy in John Wick. So when Keanu's retired hitman unleashes bloody klaxon-force vengeance on the perps behind the wheel of a Dodge Charger, you'll just want to give your own puppy a big warm cuddle. Uma Thurman's The Bride kicks a bunch of ass throughout Kill Bill in order to wreak chaos on her former lover and his empire. But when she takes on O-Ren Ishii's insane Yakuza gang at the House of Blue Leaves, things really ramp up a notch. There's nothing more grimly satisfying in Léon than the moment where Jean Reno's hitman delivers final justice for Natalie Portman's Matilda at the cost of his own life. Perhaps it's this look on Gary Oldman's face, but no, it's definitely this look on Gary Oldman's face.
Shit.
Listen, I know the corridor scene in Daredevil is good, but this is better. Though it was subsequently uttered by Christian Bale in Christopher Nolan's Batman Begins, nobody's done this line quite like Michael Keaton. And you know what? I don't think anybody will.
I'm Batman.
For more on bloody vigilante justice, stick with IGN.